Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today all about retail design.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this will be fun. We've got a ton of articles and research all about how the design of a space, a store or a restaurant or whatever, can actually kind of subconsciously make us feel certain ways and even get us to buy stuff.
It's true. It's really powerful.
Yeah, so we'll be looking at all sorts of stuff like how designers figure out how to show off a brand's personality in a physical space, what their biggest challenges are, and even how tech like AI and VR is changing the game. And stick around because at the end, we've got some rapid fire thoughts that'll really get you thinking.
I can't wait for that.
Okay, let's start with this idea of storytelling through space. I was reading this article, Yugly Over the Tech, and it really got me thinking.
Yeah, storytelling through space is so crucial. It's the idea that retail spaces aren't just about showing off products. It's really about creating an experience for shoppers. Almost like each store is a storybook and the design is the language it's written in.
I like that. So it's not just about making it look nice, right?
Yeah.
It's about evoking feelings, like telling a story with the space itself.
Yeah, exactly. Everything, the layout, the lighting, the materials, even the smells, it all adds to that narrative.
So are you saying that design can actually impact, like, what people buy?
Oh, absolutely. A well-designed space can really change a customer's whole experience, maybe even trigger a memory or two. And yeah, for sure can nudge those buying decisions. Think about it. How do you feel when you walk into a store that's all cluttered and dimly lit? Not great, right?
No, not really.
Exactly. You want to get out of there. But when you step into a store that's open and airy and inviting,
Well, then I want to browse around, take my time.
exactly. And you probably end up buying more too.
Okay, so give me an example of how this storytelling through space actually works in real life.
Okay, picture this. 100-year-old bookstore transformed into a cool, like, hybrid cafe and retail space. The designers had this awesome challenge, blending old with new. They kept the original oak bookshelves, so much character, right?
Oh, yeah, love that.
But they added in these super modern modular lighting fixtures that they could adjust throughout the day. So, like, in the morning, warm, inviting light for the coffee crowd,
Nice.
and then shift to a more moody, intimate vibe for the evening folks coming in for wine.
I love that. Literally setting the mood with the lighting.
Yeah.
But did it actually work? Like, did people actually buy more stuff?
Oh, yeah. This bookstore saw sales skyrocket, like a 40% increase after the redesign. Turns out people love browsing books and sipping lattes surrounded by, that aroma of old books and new ideas.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Proof that good design can really make a difference. But I imagine it's not always that easy, right? What are some of the toughest things you got to deal with as a retail designer?
Oh, for sure. There are always challenges. Every project has its quirks. Budget limits, space constraints, and oh boy, those clients. You always get that client that wants every single trendy thing crammed into a tiny little shop.
Oh, I can imagine. So tell me about like one really challenging project, like spill the tea.
Okay, so I'm working on this 500 square foot boutique, right? And the client, they had like a huge vision. I mean, huge. They wanted a live DJ booth, a VR fitting room, a floating cash register, like everything. And of course, with, a teeny tiny budget, talk about a creative challenge.
Yeah, that does sound a little bit like a logistical nightmare. How'd you even start with that?
It's funny, sometimes those limitations, they actually force you to be more creative. Like in this case, we got clever with the space. We used mirrored panels, gave the illusion of depth, made the boutique feel way bigger than it was. And get this, foldable acrylic platforms that could be like 5 different things throughout the day. So the DJ booth, bam, turns into this sleek display table after the party's over. Space-saving magic, right?
That is seriously impressive, turning limitations into opportunities. Okay, let's talk tech for a minute. How are things like AI and VR impacting the world of retail design these days?
Oh, technology is like a whole new toolbox for us designers. Like now we can create these immersive virtual walkthroughs, with augmented reality. Clients can actually walk through their future store before we even build anything.
Wait, so they're like wearing those VR headsets walking around.
Yeah, pretty much. But imagine, like, you're wearing these glasses, right? And boom, you're standing inside your future store. You walk around, check out all the angles, even change the wall color, like with a wave of your hand. It's amazing for getting client feedback early on.
That does sound pretty amazing. Do you have any real-life examples?
We worked with this sushi chain that was redesigning their restaurants. And during one of these AR walkthroughs, the CEO was checking everything out, and right there in the middle of the tour, he's like, nope, got to change that countertop color. It was great because it saved us a ton of time and revisions later on. Everyone was happy.
So it's like having a magic wand to make changes on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
But with all this amazing technology, are we going to lose that, human touch, that feeling you get when you walk into a space that just feels right?
That's a great point. Technology is a powerful tool, no doubt, but it can't replace that human connection, that feeling you get from, running your hand along a beautifully textured wall.
Yeah, I get that. It's like no algorithm can capture the feeling of walking into a space that just feels right.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between the digital and the physical.
Absolutely. Technology can definitely help streamline the process, but that human touch, the attention to detail, knowing how people behave in a space, that's what really brings it to life.
So before we go any further, I'd love to hear your thoughts on some key design elements that maybe people don't always think about. Like, what are some things new designers should really be aware of?
There are some fundamentals that are so important for a successful retail space. I like to call them the 4 commandments of retail design.
Okay, I am ready. Let's hear these commandments.
The first is all about flow. Flow-fu, as I like to call it. It's about making sure customers can move through the space easily, no feeling cramped or lost. Imagine trying to push a stroller through a packed aisle, bumping into everyone. Not fun, right?
Nope. Smooth sailing is key. All right, what's number 2?
Commandment number 2, lighting. Lighting alchemy, this one's called. Never underestimate the power of lighting to set the right mood. Warm lighting makes you feel all cozy and relaxed. Good for bookstores, cafes, places like that.
I definitely feel that.
But cool lighting, that's more energizing. Like, when you're in a grocery store, you got to focus and get stuff done.
Makes sense. It's like different lighting speeds for different shopping styles.
Yeah.
Okay, commandment number 3.
This one's all about smell. We call it scent-scaping. Smell is crazy powerful, can totally change your mood, even bring back memories. A bakery should smell like delicious bread, not like cleaning supplies.
So true. I've definitely been lured into a store by a good smell. Okay, bring on the final commandment.
This one's all about first impressions, the 5-second rule. You've got like 5 seconds to grab a customer's attention and make them feel good. So, a beautiful storefront, a well-designed entrance, a clear message about what the store's all about.
I think those Instagrammable moments, right? Those gotta snap a pic kind of spots.
Exactly. So important these days. Okay, you ready for a rapid fire round?
Get me. Always down for a good design debate.
All right, first up, chalkboard walls. Timeless or played out?
That's a tough one. What do you think?
I think they're timeless. But here's the thing, only if they're done right. Like, they got to be well-maintained and really fit with the overall design. It can be fun and add personality, but nobody wants a dusty old chalkboard.
Big point. Okay, next up. Plants in stores, yay or nay?
Oh, definitely yay. Plants bring life to a space. They make it feel fresh and welcoming, even have some psychological benefits, like reducing stress.
Love that. Okay, last one. Open layouts, or those maze-like layouts. Which is better?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Depends on the brand and the customer, really. Open layouts can feel spacious and free, but maze-like layouts, encourage shoppers to explore. It's about finding what works best.
Great insights. I'm already starting to see retail spaces in a whole new light. We'll have to see the rest of our deep dive for the next part, though.
Can't wait to keep going. There's still so much to explore.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back with more design talk soon.
See you then. It really is amazing, though, right? All the different things that go into designing a space, a place we all experience every single day but don't really think about too much.
Right, like we walk into a store, get the vibe, and either like it or we don't. But there's all this stuff happening behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Speaking of behind the scenes, let's get back to those lighting commandments.
Yeah.
You mentioned warm and cool tones, like how those can actually affect how people shop. Tell me more about that.
Oh, yeah, it's super interesting. Warm lighting, it creates that, comfy vibe, like you want to relax, browse around, linger for a while. Think about bookstores or those cool little cafes.
So you're saying, I'm more likely to buy that comfy sweater if the lighting makes me feel all relaxed and cozy.
Maybe. It plays into that Hidge feeling, which is all about that sense of contentment and comfort.
Hig, I like that. But then on the other hand, what about those super bright, cool lights you see in places like grocery stores? Those don't really make me feel relaxed.
No, they don't. And that's intentional. Those lights are more stimulating. It's about keeping you focused, getting in, grabbing your stuff, and getting out.
Right, like I'm on a mission at the grocery store. No time for lounging. So it's almost like Different lighting speeds,
Yep.
right, for different kinds of shopping experiences.
Exactly. It's strategic. The lighting is actually designed to match the kind of shopping behavior they're going for.
Wow, that's wild. I'm starting to feel like I don't even know what I'm doing in these stores anymore. Like there's this hidden language I don't understand. Okay, let's talk about something a bit more fun. What about those like Instagram bait moments you hear so much about? How do you design a space that's, so visually cool that people just have to take a picture of it?
Oh, that's huge these days. It's all about creating those focal points, the
Yeah.
spots that are just like visually stunning, make people stop and say, I gotta snap a pic of this.
So like a piece of art, a cool display, something that just stands out.
Yes. Bold colors, unexpected shapes, interesting textures, anything that breaks up the visual space catches the eye. But it's more than just looks. It's about creating a shareable experience, too.
So it's not just a pretty picture, right? It's about making people feel like they're a part of something special, something cool, something that they want to like show off online.
That's exactly it. People are curating their online selves just as much as they curate their homes.
Mm.
They want to share things that reflect who they are, their style, their values, all that.
So it's like this, blurring of the lines between the physical and the digital worlds, creating a space that works on both levels.
Yep.
It's Instagrammable, but also genuinely cool to be in real life.
You got it. A seamless and memorable experience. What about you? What trends are you seeing out there that are catching your eye?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of what they call biophilic design, like bringing nature into the space, lots of plants, wood, sometimes even like water features.
Yeah, it's not just a trend, it's a whole design philosophy. It's
Uh,
all about that connection we have with nature. Biophilic design can actually make people feel less stressed, improve their mood, even boost creativity.
So it's not just pretty, it's actually good for us.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. What other trends are you seeing?
Another big one is interactive experiences. Retailers are starting to realize that they need to offer more than just stuff. They got to give people a reason to come in and spend time, to engage, to have fun.
Like those pop-up shops, where you can design your own sneakers or play those VR games.
Yeah, exactly. Things that make you feel like, wow, this is different. You remember it and you want to come back for more.
So it's not just about buying a product. It's about being a part of something, a community maybe.
Yeah. Retail isn't just about the transaction anymore. It's about making connections and building relationships. It's about the experience.
I love that. Okay, let's get back to that rapid fire round. What do you say?
All right, hit me. I'm ready for more.
Okay, how about this one? Exposed brick walls. Classic or overdone?
Exposed brick. It definitely has that cool industrial look, and it can work really well in the right place as warmth, texture. But like anything else, it can be overdone. It's going to be done tastefully, so it doesn't end up looking like every other generic rustic store out there.
Okay, last one. What do you think about all the vintage furniture and decor you're seeing in stores these days?
Oh, I love that. It's so cool. Vintage pieces, they add so much character. They make the space feel unique and tell a story that you just don't get with, like, mass-produced furniture.
Yeah, it's like each piece has its own history and personality.
Right. And in a world where everything is so fast-paced and disposable, it's nice to see those timeless pieces that have stood the test of time.
It's about creating a space that feels curated and personal, not,
Yeah.
like it came straight out of a catalog.
Exactly. It's all about telling a story, and those vintage pieces, they can be amazing storytelling tools.
This is all so fascinating. I'm going to look at every store I walk into so differently now.
I'm glad. It's a whole new world when you start paying attention.
Okay, before we finish up this part, I want to give our listeners something to think about.
Ooh, a cliffhanger. I love it.
The next time you walk into a store, any store, really stop and take a look around. Really pay attention to all those little details, the colors, the textures, the lighting, even the music they're playing.
It's like you're a design detective.
Exactly. And think about how those details make you feel. What story is the space telling? What kind of experience are they trying to create?
You might be surprised by what you find when you start looking at the world with a designer's eye.
We'll be back for the final part of our deep dive soon. Stay tuned. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of retail design.
I bet you're looking at stores totally different though by now, right? Like noticing all the subtle ways designers are trying to influence us.
Yeah, it's kind of like you've unlocked a secret code. Once you get how design works, you start to see the intention behind everything.
Totally. It's not just about making things look good, right? It's about using design to make us feel something, tell a story, and yeah, maybe even nudge us to buy stuff. And what's so cool is that it's always changing, right? Like as technology changes and, people's tastes change, designers have to keep innovating and coming up with new ideas to stay ahead.
That's what keeps things interesting. It's a mix of creativity, psychology, and really knowing how people behave.
Speaking of how people behave, what was the most surprising thing you learned from all the stuff we've looked at? Anything really stand out to you?
Honestly, I was really amazed by the whole thing about scent. I knew smell could affect your mood, but I had no idea how strategically stores use it. This is the secret weapon, right? Like
Yeah.
they can actually use smells to change how we see the brand and even what we buy.
Yeah, smell is super powerful. It's one of our most basic senses. It's tied directly to our emotions and memories. Think about like when you smell fresh bread baking, it can like take you right back to your childhood. And that's what retailers are doing. They're using scent to create those positive associations and like good feelings about their brand.
It's like sense storytelling, adding this whole other dimension to the experience. So what about you? What really stuck with you from all this?
I'm really excited about the growing emphasis on sustainability and biophilic design. Like, it's not just about making pretty spaces anymore. It's about making sure those spaces are good for the planet too. Bringing in natural elements, using recycled materials, all of that. It's becoming really important.
Yeah, it shows that designers are thinking about the bigger picture, right? Like not just about the here and now, but about making things that are good for everyone in the long run.
Exactly. It's about designing for the future, creating spaces that are both beautiful and sustainable for, generations to come.
I like that. Before we wrap up, I want to circle back to that idea of how physical spaces can actually have this whole digital afterlife through social media.
Yeah, like if there's no picture, did it even happen? These days, a store isn't really real until it's been shared, liked, and commented on online.
And that's why we're seeing so many of those, Instagram-worthy moments in stores.
Yeah.
The cool displays, the unique features, the things that are just begging to be photographed.
It's like free advertising, right? Like all those posts and shares, they help spread awareness and get people talking about the brand. It's smart marketing for sure.
Yeah, so everyone wins, right? Shoppers get to share their experiences and show off their style, and the brands get tons of free publicity.
It's amazing how much our physical and digital worlds are merging these days.
Well, I think we've covered a ton in this deep dive. From storytelling, through space, to the power of lighting, to interactive experiences, we've really explored how retail design can shape how we see the world and even how we act.
It's been fun. I always loved nerding out about design.
Me too. Before we go, I want to leave everyone with one final thought. The next time you're out and about, really take a minute to notice the spaces you're in. Look at the details, feel the vibe, and think about what the space is saying to you.
Become a design detective.
Exactly. You might be surprised by what you discover.
And who knows, maybe you'll even get some inspiration for your own space.
Thanks for listening to our deep dive into the world of retail design. Until next time, keep exploring.